I was like this, wide open. I go, throw it to Henny. Throw it to Henny. I was like this. No, Henny.
Hey, man, I found out you an engineer.
Yeah.
What the hell you doing out here?
I know, man. I had to make a little extra break.
Oh, okay.
Feed my family.
I see. Yeah, okay. I'm sure engineer does.
Yeah.
No, this don't do nothing but just hug it and make it feel good. That's it. It ain't stopping from nothing. Pressure on there? Yeah, huh? It was hurting like the pressure? No, I like the pressure. My broke down here. Like right here. Where's yours at? Right here.
Hello, DA. Let's go, Luke. Let's JP.
Let's go, man. Let's get it. Let's go.
Hey. It's water day. It's water day. Whatever you got, let that feel.
All right, let's go. Jack, let's go, man.
Hey, boys. Make sure we leave. Leave, no doubt. We done won. You got. Hey.
What's up, Fox?
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, man? How's everything?
Oh, you got it. You got it.
Yo, welcome back to another podcast episode of Stars Talking Cowboys. Starring Sean Fox, K Boogie, and Cowboys Nikki is in the building.
You gonna dig this. Let's go.
Well, what's up? What's up? Welcome to another edition of Stars Talking Cowboys. I'm one of your hosts, Sean Fox. We got K Boogie on the line. What's up, man?
What's going on, people? How's everybody? How you doing, Foxy?
We here.
Definitely.
And as expected, we'll have Nikki showing up in just a few moments.
It's all good. We'll hold it down until the princess or queen gets on the show. It's all right. It's all good. It's all good, my brother.
So, with that being said, how about them Cowboys?
Not only how about them Cowboys, how about your boy, Sam I Am Williams? How about that?
You know, I'm not a guy who likes to take a lot of credit. I like to be back in the cut.
All right.
But I called this pick, man. I promise you, I called this pick. I said that we needed uh, a younger version of DeMarcus Lawrence. We needed that energy off the line, and man, once he learns the game of the NFL, him and Parson is going to be the staple of our defense.
I know. Listen, I watched him at Ole Miss play a lot. I watched him. He's tenacious. He's fast. He's a physical specimen. So, all the off the field stuff that happened when he was a freshman, I said, I get it. I understand. But for all these other teams to pass him over, I said, and we have him, that's a gift. That was a gift. He just has to learn how to play within the rules and the confines of the NFL because, when those quarterbacks are running on the sideline, he's going to try to take them out. He's going to try to take him out. So I was so pleased at his development. And to be honest with you, that's not his breakout game. His breakout game is going to come when he has 3 or 4 sacks. I'm telling you, he's going to be unstoppable once he learns some pass moves as well. He's just doing it on pure speed.
Yeah, and I don't even say it's pure speed. It's not even instincts right now. He's doing what he's told, and that's where I think that like I said, once he learns the game and he's able to dissect it and learn how to read and react. Oh my God, I think he's just going to be,
Hey, that's why I named him Sam I Am Williams. Sam I Am Williams. Because I'm telling you, after he did the Hulk smash and all the sacks and the strip fumbles, and I said, you know what, he's coming. He's coming. Just be prepared. He's coming. So I'm looking for actually more exciting things for him. later down the line, especially week 16. I already have it circled on my calendar. Hopefully, everybody has that game versus the Eagles week 16 circled on their calendar because I have it on mine.
Circled. I got it circled, starred, underlined, highlighted. Um, and the only reason why I'm saying it is because I don't think that let's give credit where credit is due. The Eagles played a good game.
Yes, they did.
They played a good game against us, and for the most part, um, and for the most part, we just lost. Just call it what it is.
Yeah, we
Um,
did.
so,
Yeah, the Eagles
first,
were better that day.
yeah,
That's all.
they
That's
were.
what I say. The Eagles were better that day, that night. September 16th, we should be better as well.
Yeah, and right now, folks, for some reason, our server is not allowing us to put comments in on. It's not allowing us to display our comments. So I'm gonna have to read them as they come up on
Really?
my actual
Okay.
Facebook page. Yeah. So we'll just have to work through that. So glad to see Miss Oliver, Miss D Oliver on here, Roxanne Sharon, Miss Lowe. Thank you, Natalie. Once again, Natalie has been with us from day one, so we appreciate her being on the line.
All right. What
So
you think about the game?
I mean, it is the game was exactly what I expected it to be. Um, I expected us, I expected us not to rely on Dak so much. I expected us to run the ball more than we passed the ball. Um, and the game was exactly how like I said, how I expected it to be. I expected it to be. I was a little bit surprised that Detroit didn't score more, but I think the defense was a little hyped from the loss to Philly.
Yeah.
We had a couple bounces that went our way, especially that fumble after that great effort that Parsons gave to save that touchdown, and then on the next play we recovered the fumble. So besides that, um, I thought that the game was exactly how it was supposed to be. I expected, like I said, I expected Detroit to score a little bit more. They didn't, which is a plus. But it is what it is. I expected Dak to play exactly how he played. Um, and I'm pretty sure that we'll talk about the naysayers a little bit later uh, on Dak's actual play. But a win in the NFL, a win's a win.
Sometimes, hey, I'd rather win ugly than lose pretty. I tell everybody that. Sometimes you're not going to actually have your best games. You know what I'm saying? And you want to lose those games. But this is the type of game that, the Cowboys usually would lose these games. In the
Of
past,
course.
they would lose games like this. So I was happy that, we wasn't clicking on all cylinders offensively, but the defense stepped up again. And I was just happy to get out of there with a win.
Yeah.
Definitely. I was happy that we only had one injury, basically, Jordan Lewis's injury, which basically, hey, Mr. Bland's going to have to step up now, and Anthony Brown's going to have to step up a little bit more. But besides that, I was just happy to get a win, come out of there. Luckily, when they had those two injuries, and that was it. Move on to the Bears now, because the Bears are going to give us a different challenge. If anybody watched the game last night, the Bears are going to give us a different challenge than Detroit has.
So it looks like the Bears have changed to has taken a page out of the Ravens offense and featuring their quarterback a little bit more.
You saw that too. You saw that last night.
Yeah.
You saw that too. I
Yeah.
said, "Oh my god," because Fields runs a 40 and 4-4. So I'm like, listen, you have a young quarterback trying to build up his confidence. Change the offense, and they changed the offense last night because the Patriots were not ready for it. The Patriots was not ready for that offense last night. He ran for over 200 yards.
Yeah, they definitely wasn't ready. But this is not the same Patriots team,
Yeah,
as before. And like I said, I'm not discounting Chicago. A win is like I said, a win is a win in the NFL. So I'm definitely not discounting the win that Chicago had, because they did it. Not only did they, win, but they did it on the road. And New England is not a very easy place to win games. But
Hey, they had 4 turnovers too. They created
yeah,
4 turnovers on defense.
yeah, I thought the Zap guy, is that his name, Zap?
I'm thinking about the singers app.
um,
Zappy. They call him Zappy.
yeah, Zappy. When Zappy came in, I thought, oh, he's about to come in and about to light it up, and then you know, it happened. Chicago
Yes,
just
it
took over.
did.
But in that, Chicago, I don't want to say lucky bounces, but tip passes and so forth and so on. The NFL football is a game of inches.
Yes, it is.
A tip pass here, a fumble there, a not getting the first down here can change the dynamics of the game. So, it is what it is.
It is. And we playing 1 o'clock. I hate these 1 o'clock games, but what can we do? I guess everybody has to play them. I hate those 1 o'clock games.
Yeah, usually, for us, those 1 o'clock games are those games that they feel like they're not going to be, nationally televised. So, uh, but it's two big markets, so I wouldn't understand why. I'm not gonna say I don't understand why it's not a 1 o'clock game, but it's still gonna get some good ratings because you got two major markets
Yeah,
in the United States, Chicago and Dallas.
we're gonna see. We're gonna see. It's gonna be a closer game than people think it may be because they're gonna actually run the ball more and
Hmm.
keep our offense off the field. And the only thing is our defensive additions. Hopefully, Hankins will play this game. Shut down the run. I'm hoping that he play. I've been after. Listen. He's been a person that I've targeted in free agency for a while. So I'm glad we picked him up today. So I'm looking forward to his addition. I'm looking forward to the way our defense is going to play versus the run. I mean, they have some speed on the outside too, so we have to understand that basically they may try to pick on AB this game. So I'm looking forward to it because after this there's a bye and then we play Green Bay and then we play the Vikings.
Yeah. So Natalie wrote the Eagles are talking so much smack, claiming that by the time we play them, they will be resting their starters and we will be playing their scrubs. So that's the only way we will beat them. And then she
Really?
said, then she asked, "Don't get scared now."
First of all, the Eagles, the fan base is crazy. They just talk a lot. They just talk a lot. They really talk. I don't know if you guys were watching actually NFL Network, but they had the Eagles schedule, and so they're picking the Eagles to go 14-3. They're looking at the Eagles to lose to the Cowboys as well as the Giants and the Tennessee Titans.
It's still early. Anything can happen. I look at a lot of teams, a la the Titans of recent years, that have had very very good starts to their seasons and lost in the playoffs. Kansas City, they've been a perennial favorite for the last 5 years, 4 or 5 years now. They've had some very good starts and lost. Pittsburgh, didn't they start off, you know, 8-0,
11 and
10-0,
0. Yeah, it was
11-0,
like
something
11
like
and
that?
0.
Yeah, they start off 11-0, and look what happened to them. So I don't get too hyped about playoff seedings until
Mm-mm.
probably about the last 2 or 3 weeks because anything can change.
All I know is I'm just ready for that game. I know I shouldn't look ahead, but I'm I'm ready for that game and Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving with the Giants. The Giant fans are here in New Jersey talking a lot too. They are really chirping. They chirping. They chirping. We got a better coach than you. We have a coaching staff, and they play for the coach. They love the coach. I'm like, okay, all right, simmer down a little bit. Simmer down. I understand you guys have a good record right now, but we did actually give you that blemish. So just calm down. And they still have to play the Eagles as well. So the NFC East is back. The only one, even the Commodores are winning. The Commodores have won 2 in a row.
Yeah.
So the NFC as a whole is playing much better football now. So I'm looking for. I like it when it's competitive like this anyway, because it's supposed to bring the best out of the best team anyway. And
Yeah.
hopefully that team is the Cowboys.
Bryant Jordan says we shut down Fields, we will win the game, and that's true. And I think that we have the speed and the depth, especially from our safeties,
Hmm.
uh, that will be able to contain Fields.
But the
Like I
only
said,
thing is, Daniel Jones ran for what, 75 yards on us, and he's faster than Daniel Jones. And they have some capable running backs. So I understand we have to slow him down, but the RPO game, we might have to put a spy on him as well. We've been playing a lot of running quarterbacks, and we haven't fared too well against those running quarterbacks in
I
regards to
mean,
stats.
yeah, stats wise, yeah, but which running quarterback has really just Lamar beat us, Jalen beat us once. Um, I can't, you know, Daniel Jones, he was a leading rusher against us, but they didn't win.
Mm-mm.
Uh, and I look at the Giants. I don't want to go back to the Giants, even though we're talking about something else. But they're a one-man team on offense right now. It's literally run Saquon right, left. I, I mean, literally, they're
You're
putting him in
right.
wild. They're putting him in Wildcat now. So um, like I said, I think that our defense is up to the task. Um, Offensively, we're going to have to play better than what we played the last 5 weeks in order for us to do something. Um, and speaking about the offense, well, let's go back. So, what did you think of the game?
Nah, the game basically, I thought we scored more points. I thought we scored more points because Detroit has basically a really terrible defense. They can't actually catch a cold right now. So I figured that we would be able to score more points than 24 points on Detroit. I really did. Maybe I had really high hopes because that was coming back. And I said, okay, let's be a little bit more explosive, be a little bit more vertical. But we couldn't get the ball in the end zone in the first quarter. We couldn't. One times we were what? We got down there 3 times. One time was a fumble. So, I mean, we just have to be a little bit more creative when we get to the red zone so we can put up these points because against a better team that could help, that could hurt us in the long run. So hey, I wanted us to be a little bit more explosive against Detroit. I wanted to score more points against Detroit, but hey, we came out with a win, so I'm happy about that. But we have to be able to score more points though, against better teams.
Hey, what's up, Daryl?
So
Um,
what's up, Nick? What up,
Hey,
Nick? Nick?
hey.
like I said, once again, everyone, we can't display your comments tonight. There's something wrong with the server, not my server this time, but with StreamYard server. But I can still read them off of my Facebook page. And I think what we probably have to do is have somebody go to the Stars Talking Cowboys page and pull those up and see if we can get any comments that come off of that one.
On the webpage, on our page.
Yeah, the Stars Talking Cowboys. So Nikki, I just gave my take on the game. K Bookie gave his take on the game. Let's throw you under the fire and get your take on the game.
Mhm. My take on the game. Started off slow. For me, I was expecting to see, a little bit more. I knew we was gonna take Dak a quarter or two to get back game speed ready. He's been out since week one, so I did expect to see him come out and be a little rusty. It seems like the fourth quarter, but it seems like it took half of the game because like the fourth quarter is when he finally really found his groove um, back into the game and realized that he was actually back on the field, playing live football. Um, I think, to be honest, I think both sides started off slow this game. Even defense started off kind of slow in the first half, but of course they came back out in the second half and they became the defense that we have grown accustomed to seeing. For me, the biggest thing for me that I take from the game is the red zone play calling. Um, Trying to get the ball in, the red zone. I just think, with two dynamic backs that we have, Zeke and Pollard, I just think that there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to pick up 1 or 2 yards. Um, I just think it's absurd that we're still trying to throw the ball on those type in that short yardage when you have a running back like Zeke still, and you have Tony Pollard. Um, I'm tired of saying the same thing every week about Kellen Moore, and it's like he still don't know how to use Tony Pollard at times. It's like he still don't get the concept of having both of his running backs on the field at the same time. His play calling is still so predictable at times in the game. We can't continue to do this. I mean, we in game 7 now, but we're going to game 8 Sunday. Um, you just can't continue to play like that, especially when you get in the red zone. You have to score. You have to get points. When you that close to the red zone, you that close to scoring a touchdown, 3 yards out, 1 yard out, 2 yards out. There's no excuse for that. There's none for it at all. I, receivers. I think that fumble was unnecessary by Noah Brown. I think sometimes that receivers they want to be the hero or they want to be the one to say they did it, and they don't realize how it jeopardizes the team and put the team in a bad spot when they don't went through all that long drive to get there and you fumble the ball away by trying to do too much. Sometimes just catch the ball, do what you need to do, and go down. Live to play another down. Because at that point you had an option. You all you really needed was the first down. At that point, you had 3 more tries after that to get the ball in. So it really wasn't no need for him to do the extra moves, and then he get flipped, and then the ball comes out. Thank God for defense that Detroit didn't score off of it. But it's just the fact of the principle. Better teams will take advantage of it, kind of like what the Eagles did last week. Um, they took advantage of our miscues. That's literally what made Eagles end up winning that game because really the Eagles didn't play good enough in the second half. They're not a second half team. Even with them being 6-0, their second half is the worst in the league. Um, and it showed by us coming back within 3, being down as much as we were, and came back within 3. Without those interceptions and all the penalties, we easily could have got a win out of Philly last week. But that's here, that's gone. We'll see them again in December. But it's just the fact that we can't make crucial mistakes because the better team or a better defensive scheme coach on the other side of the ball will take total total control of that. And just luckily, we were able to overcome it with the defense that we have. So that's really my take. I just want to see them start faster, especially when you're playing bad teams. You should be able to put more points on the board. Now, I have to say, even though Detroit record is bad, Detroit is really not a bad team. They just don't know how to finish games. Um, they don't have the coach is still learning, so he's not really there to implement anything to help them get over the hump. Plus, they got Jerry Goff. Um, it's quarterback, which we all know. We played Jerry Goff more than one time, so we already know what type of kind of quarterback Jerry Goff is. But give hats out to Detroit though. They got some young studs on that line. Especially that defensive line. They got some young studs on there. And they get a better quarterback and a couple of more pieces to them. Detroit can easily be a good team. They can easily be sitting real good, but they just don't know how to finish games. They have been in every game that they played in. Um, besides us, seem like the turnovers helped us put more points on the board. But I just want to see more from the offense. Defense is clicking on every cylinder. I like the move we went out and did today with the defense. Because we definitely need someone to help with the run, stopping the run. So that's it for me. I just want to see better red zone play calling, and again, I just need Dak to get the ball out of his hands quicker. I know one sack, um, probably should he didn't have to he shouldn't have took. The second one, I mean, the line broke down real fast on him on that one. It's like he didn't really have a chance to set his feet on that one, and they was already busting through the line. So but offense just needs to do better for us sustaining drives because you want your defense to be fresh. You want your defense to be able to be a successful help for you in returning the ball back to you. And they can't do that if they on the field almost a whole quarter. That they just can't do that. It's gonna gas them real early, and that's what ultimately ended up happening with Detroit. You know, our defense was quickly getting them off the field, so their defense was quickly right back on the field. Then the interceptions from Goff didn't hurt, the turnover didn't hurt, so I mean didn't help their his defense, rest up. So you- that's just things that we gotta work on and we gotta be mindful about.
One thing that I will say is Keyshawn Johnson said he said something that really stuck with me when I was watching him the other morning talking about the Cowboys game. He says that Moore has got to start calling the game from an offensive coordinator standpoint instead of calling the game from a quarterback standpoint. And that made a lot of sense,
Mhm.
a whole lot of sense because I don't and we're gonna go back to Dak and his performance too, but I go back to the individuals who watch the game versus individuals who know the game. And what's his name? The old Eagles running back uh
Shady.
that's
You talking about Shady?
yeah with
Shady
his old
McCoy.
with his hating self. I
Shady,
forgot where
Shady.
we on a
He
new
acted
we on
shady
a
too.
new
He acted
network.
real shady.
Yeah, we we on a new network, so I can't say what I want to say, but
We on a new network already?
yeah, we on a new network.
Oh, I thought that didn't start till November. After the no in November.
No, it's this is season 1, episode 2 on the new network. At work, you guys held episode 1 down last week, and this is episode 2 this week.
Nobody told me that. Well, they might. Shit, we might be booted because I know last week was. You
We'll
better
talk
check
about,
and make sure we still safe because I don't know.
but yeah, Shady was talking about the and we can discuss this now. The performance of Dak, um, and a lot of a lot of the Dak haters. See, he ain't do no more than what Cooper did, what Coop
Mm,
did.
mm, 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 mm.
Well, there was about 3 throws that I don't think that Cooper could have made. You know, so I think that I went on somebody's page and they was talking about, oh man, you 204 yards, and I said the man went 19 of 25. He went 19 of 25 out. So he had 6 misses. 2 of them were drop passes. So then he had 4 misses. 2 of them he threw into double coverage, which I think he was forcing the CeeDee Lamb, which left him with 2 other completions, incomplete passes. Yet we said this man was inaccurate.
You can't pay those people no mind. They just
If he,
want to hit on
yeah,
that regardless.
if he would have went 21 or 25 for 240 yards or 250 yards because of the 2 drop passes, they still would have complained.
Can't make everybody happy, my brother. It is what it
Yeah.
is when it comes down to that.
Yeah. So, his performance, and let me go back to the comments here. Like I said, I have to read comments because they're not they something's wrong with StreamYard, so they're not displaying our comments. Kenneth Bell said replace Kellen Moore. He also said get Turpin involved in the offense more. Um,
Hmm. I got something for that.
yeah, but going back to the Dak performance, the
Who
man
let
had.
Kenneth on the show?
Oh, I sent this in the. I sent this to the chat. Since
I'm just
we
playing.
um, but um, shoot, I just forgot my comment. Just says that quick. No, okay. Um, Jesus, see, y'all made me forget my comment. Cowboys fans looking for the great Kenneth said Cowboys fans looking for the great white hope at quarterback.
Oh my God! Ouch!
Well, I'm going back to
Woo! It's getting
Dak's
hot in
performance.
here.
What do you expect for a guy who hasn't played an NFL game in 5 weeks? If you thought that Dak was going to come into this game and throw for 300 or 400 yards with 4 or 5 touchdowns, then you really do not know football. The man had he had to have less than 4 or 5 days of practice at the most because he didn't get released till Tuesday. Am I correct, Nikki?
No,
Uh,
you're right.
he
You're
got
right. And
released
then he
on
practiced on
Tuesday.
Wednesday.
He practiced on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure he practiced on Thursday. Fridays are light, or there's light
No practice really on
walkthroughs. Yeah,
Friday.
no
Yeah,
no
just
practice
walkthroughs
on
on Friday.
Friday, and there's walkthroughs on Saturday. So this man probably threw 100 to 200 passes between uh, Tuesday and Wednesday, or Wednesday and Thursday at the most. So you can not expect for him to go in here and be game day ready. Coming off an injury off of 5 weeks. Look at Russell Wilson last year. It took Russell Wilson, what, 3 or 4 games to get back, and he had the same injury. So I just want people to be real. If you're going to be critical of a player or critical of a team, be realistic with your criticisms. Because it's I don't know. I mean, I wish that I didn't know football as well as I knew football. Then maybe I could be so one-sided in my objections. When it comes to football, because I'm not saying that the Cowboys played great. We won, and that's the biggest thing, is that we won the game. But I've never seen so many people be complaining about a win. If you want, if you want 35 to 28 and to 42s to whatever, 40 whatever, if you want those type of games, then don't expect a bunch of wins, because that means your defense is playing horrible. Winning a game like we did, where we rushed the ball. We rushed the ball, I forgot how many times. 39 times, I think it was. I'll come up with the right number. We've rushed the ball more than we passed for the last 6 games. And we're winning. So don't complain about the quarterback. You complain when the quarterback was throwing the ball 40 to 50 times a game. Now he's not throwing the ball 40 to 50 times a game, and you're still complaining. I don't understand it.
Some people you just can't please them. No matter what you do in life, you just can't please those individuals. So sometimes it's like, hey, can't even worry about them. We win in the games. We have a different formula right now because Dak was out injured. So the only thing we need from Dak to do is basically don't turn the ball over. Keep the chains moving and make those throws that Cooper Rush can't make in those key situations during the game. That's the only thing we're asking for Dak right now. We're not asking him to come in and be Superman or superhero. There's different concepts of how we move the ball now, and that formula is working. So just add a little spice to it, but keep the same concepts. That's the only thing we ask from that. If somebody wanted him to come in and throw for 380 yards against Detroit, that wasn't going to happen. We have a formula, stick to it. Put a little spice in here and there, and let's keep winning games. But there's people who don't know the game of football, who never played sports, period. The only thing that they go by is the media. Like I stated before, the media generates so much hate for that our fan base is basically also listening to it without any merit whatsoever. Like you see Shady McCoy, you hear his words. I don't even listen to him anymore. He's a Philadelphia Eagle fan. I get it. You want to sit there and cause controversy because you don't like the Cowboys and understand it, but at least give us some facts. Where's the facts? Show me some facts, please. And
You
our
know,
fan base need to do their own research too when it comes down to quarterback stats and how you play the game. If you have a winning formula, why break it? Why change it right now? There's going to be a time when Dak may have to throw the ball more, but right now he doesn't have to. Just keep with the same formula right now. Just make it a little bit more dynamic, put a little bit more spice into it, but he doesn't really have to change that formula right now.
Well, Shady said that he was expecting a little bit more wow out of Dak when Dak came back, and somebody called him out on I forgot the guy's name on the show, but the guy called him out and said, "Wow, wait a minute." He said, "Do I need to go back to the tape and pull up the tape?" He said, "Just 2 weeks ago, when we said Dak came back, you guys were the ones that were saying that he needs to be conservative when he comes back. Just be conservative. Don't try to do too much and let him win the game." So that's just how fickle some people are when it comes to the hatred of the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. And I'm not sitting up here trying to hype up, saying that Dak is the great hope for the Cowboys, because it's a team effort. It's a team win and a team loss. You know, I'm not gonna say Cooper Rush contributed. I'm not gonna say Cooper Rush was the reason that we lost to the Eagles. We lost to the Eagles because we turned the ball over and we couldn't stop the run.
Yep, in the second quarter too, they averaged 19 points in the second quarter.
And
That's another
penalty.
thing.
And penalties, yeah. And we
And
looked
so
horrible Sunday with penalties.
that's
Right.
Mike McCarthy, though. That's Mike McCarthy.
But that's
It's
on that O line and that's on coaching. If your team still having penalties issues like that in a game over and over again, the same ones, that's coaching. And they're not being held accountable for it. That's all coaching.
don't
Yep.
forget Mike McCarthy. Basically, his teams are basically in the top echelon when it comes down to penalties. So now, because all these penalties, it's something that I guess we're gonna have to get used to and overcome. Because this is a Mike McCarthy thing. This is basically his MO. If you look, basically when he was coaching the Green Bay Packers, he was always in the top echelon of penalties. That's just who Mike McCarthy is right now. And so we're gonna have to learn, unfortunately, we're gonna have to learn how to overcome these penalties, unfortunately. But we saw what happened against the 49ers. We had 14 unforced penalties and it cost us the game. Mike's gonna have to do something. I don't know what, but he's gonna have to do something. Kellen Moore's gonna have to do. Somebody's gonna have to make a stand and say, "Listen, we can't have all these penalties, or else it's really gonna cost us like it cost us in the playoffs." We're gonna have to do something because we're gonna have to keep overcoming these penalties. It's gonna be a game where we may not overcome those penalties. It may really cost us seedings in the playoffs or what have you. Mike has to do something because this is his MO. Penalties. We're gonna have to do
Yep.
something.
So who do you guys thought the leading tackler of the game was on Sunday?
Mm,
It's gonna shock you when if you can't spit his name out, then that means it's gonna shock you when I tell you who it was.
probably LVE.
Yep,
Live.
yep, yep. And then you
Oh,
had
glad
uh,
Davis
you
is
had
here.
you had Curse, Barr, and Wilson following with that. You know, as a team, we had 61 tackles. Um, and it to me, when I look at the stats from a defensive standpoint, it just shows how balanced that the defense is. However, however, that run game is going to get to us eventually. But we have the addition of, um, as we said here, we have the addition of
Mr. Hankins, baby.
Mr. Hankins.
That's right. I'm so excited. I wanted him for so long when he was a free agent. After he left the Giants, I wanted him so long. And he played Ohio State with Zeke. So I'm like, yo, bring him on. Bring on our big baby. We finally have a big baby right now we can put in the middle. And I'm happy. Big baby.
Well, we're gonna show while we're here talking. We'll show some of his highlights here. He played for the Giants. He, he played for the Giants. obviously Raiders, and he played
and
for
the Colts.
and the Colts.
Yep.
He's a 10-year veteran. Uh, so and he's a big guy that helps. You know, take he takes up blockers. You know, and that will help our should help our
Can you say that
linebackers out
again? Can you say that again, Foxy? He takes up two blockers, which will free up Liv. Hopefully, he doesn't have to take on the guard. And that's one of the most important things about actually a big baby like that. He takes up two blockers in the middle of the line. And it's going to free up basically Liv to basically, make more tackles. And so he doesn't have to guess now. Because Liv
and
lately has been guessing which hole the running back is going to go through. And he's been guessing wrong a lot.
a lot. This I
So
think
now,
this will help. I think this will help out Anthony Barr also. You know,
mm,
I think that'll help. This will help out the D line altogether. Now, you know, you don't have to put D Law on the inside as much, um, unless you're in what when I play football, we call it the racehorse, where you took the
mm.
defensive ends and put them on the inside, and brought in your speedy pass rushing linebackers to put them on the outside. But that was my call was racehorse. Um, but I think that his addition is going to help out, a lot as a veteran presence. Um, and like you said, he's going to take up a couple of blockers. So
And he has some passion. He's passionate about the game. He brings that swagger too. He brings some more swagger. I love swagger. I love athletes with swagger. And he's bringing that swagger, passion to the game. He's going to be able to teach our young defensive linemen as well some different techniques. So I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully he can play on Sunday. Hopefully he can play Sunday because we're going to need him.
and if you can see on most of these plays on his highlights, he's definitely commands a double team. Um, and we gave up a 6th round and a 7th round, a 6th round next year and a 7th round the year after next.
No, see, it's a 6th round, and then the Raiders give us a 7th round in
Okay.
2024.
Okay. So we basically got a steal as a rental this year. You know.
Hey, Jerry, I guess this is our Deion Sanders, huh? Ooh, we was talking mess like, yeah, man, there's a Deion Sanders out there. I love to do it. So I guess right now he's our Deion Sanders.
Well, Jerry is Jerry.
You can't believe everything Jerry says. You can't. I'm just basically, happy we finally have a run stopper as well. I mean, he's quick too. He's quick off the ball. That's another thing that even though he's a big boy, he's quick off the ball.
Well, like I said, we have a new D tackle. So, Nikki, before you came on, we were talking about Chicago and how that
Feels.
they've adopted a a Baltimore type of offense to
Mhm.
run Fields. So,
Mhm.
what do you think we need to do to stop the this new Chicago offense?
Shit, that's the reason they went and got a D tackle today, a run stopper. They watched their game last night, and they also seen the stats from the last couple of games with how we getting ate up and gashed down the middle. This pick was all a Dan Quinn. This trade was all a Dan Quinn trade. He went to whomever and said, I can't, as a defensive coordinator, I can't see myself continually coaching this team like this and the level I have them playing at. But the one thing we missing is a run stopper. We're getting ready to move into
Oh
teams
shoot!
that's what they do. They run the ball. That's the winning formula, running the ball.
Oh, there we go. We got comments.
We got comments now.
Y'all think
It had to be Daryl too. It had to be Daryl. Thanks,
do
D.
y'all think LVE struggles are due to not being a
Broke the
true M?
matrix.
Yeah, I think that plays a big role in LVE because he's not a true middle linebacker at all, and I think that does play a role. Um, but they know they couldn't just let him go at the time. They had to see how these other players was gonna produce and get these other ones ready. before they can just walk away. But that's one reason why they didn't bother to give him a contract either, because they got these youngsters that they drafted and they're studs that can be studs. So I don't look to see LV here next season. Um, but he is not, by no means is he a middle, a middle linebacker. And he always out his gap. He's never in position. He's always in the wrong position. And when he turn around, it's too late. They done zoom by him. Put Anthony Brown
Co-
out the game.
Listen, we got time for Anthony Brown already. KB, thank you for the comment though.
Hold on, here we go. We go.
Don't do Anthony Brown like that. I mean, don't do kind of like that when he want to talk about Anthony Brown. Brown, that dude should have been
listen,
gone.
listen. I have my own reservations about Anthony Brown, but you got to put him in the slot right now. Don't put him outside. You got to put
Ain't
him in the
finna put
slot.
him in the slot neither. He needs to go. Put the Ron Bland in the slot, and
And
you
then
go
who
get
on the
one, and
outside?
then you go get what's up, boy? I can't even say his name. The one star with the M. Michael
Who?
Cooper,
Right?
Michael Nuku. No,
You
not
talking about?
Nashawn Wright. What's that boy name? That he got that funny name. He bowed out in the the preseason game in LA. Michael, it started with an M. It's like an African name.
No, he's a safety. If that's who you're talking about, the safety who played at South Carolina.
Somebody else needs to come back there.
No, he's a safety right
Shit.
now.
Well, man,
No.
I rather put Boss Man out there then. Shit.
Boss
Nah.
man got to get his head right.
Put Boss Man out
Boss
there.
man is better on special teams right now. If you're gonna do anything, you might as well go after a free agent or whatever, rather than doing that. But right now, I think Anthony Brown needs to play the slot.
Anthony Brown not going in the slot. Duran Bland is going in the slot. They already said
Yeah,
that.
yeah, we already know that, but
He not. I mean,
But
that
I
might
think that's
be.
a mistake.
That
Bland
might be in
plays
the
better on the
ideal,
outside.
but they already said he going in the slot. So
That's a
they said
mistake.
Duran Bland going in the slot, but I guess as time go on and they may switch it here eventually, but I don't see it happening. Anthony Brown don't even need to still be on the team. He constantly gets burnt week after week after week, and I don't care. Put somebody back there. I rather see those type of mistakes from a I can't even say the word I'm looking for, from a rookie. I rather see those type of mistakes from a rookie than to keep seeing them from a 6-year vet.
yeah, we brought in somebody there and we put him
For
on
the
the
practice
practice
squad
squad. Yeah.
I don't even think he signed yet though.
because we didn't have any cornerbacks on the practice squad. So, you know, Coach
Kevin
Dan Quinn has
Sheffield.
a rapport with him. Yeah, Kenneth. Um, Dan Quinn
Kendall.
has a rapport with him, so that's why he brought him in because we didn't have any cornerbacks on our practice squad. We didn't, so he brought him in. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think the
I
Cowboys
don't
may
think
have
he
to go out
signed
and get
yet though.
one.
I
He's in
don't
the
think he
process.
signed yet.
He's in the
Yeah.
process of signing because that's the Dan Quinn. Actually, that's one of Dan Quinn's guys. So if you don't have to, if Anthony Brown is playing, right, which nobody's going to get rid of him. No, Kenneth, you cannot put him. He's a safety now, even though he played outside cornerback and slot cornerback at South Carolina. He's a safety now. The Cowboys are not going to do that to him. Didn't we do that with Byron Jones? Kept putting him at different positions.
But
So
if it
keep him at safety.
but if cornerback is where he excels at and that's where he
Nah,
at, then put him where he
no.
excel at.
He's better at safety. He's better at safety. He
He
found a
can't
home
be
in
no
safety.
worse than Anthony Brown. He might
Mm-mm.
give him even more play just because he's trying to secure a spot.
No,
Because the shit that
no.
Anthony Brown's still doing after 6 years is ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's just the league. There's levels to being a professional athlete, though. Like I stated before, there's levels to it. So it's either as a cornerback you have those instincts or you don't. Anthony Brown has great speed, but he just doesn't have the instincts to be an impact
And
cornerback.
that's my point. He should not still be here. If he cannot make an impact for your team, he should not be here. He should have been gone. And it's more disheartening that we don't have anyone on the team that we feel safe with even replacing him with. That's more disheartening. That means that we still not doing something right when we grabbing players. If we can't get a player on the roster, they can come in and step up and take someone place that has not been doing anything the whole time they've been here. Anthony Brown is a straight up liability in coverage. He is a straight liability. He can't cover nobody. He can't even cover you if he don't even see you.
Listen,
He just cannot cover.
I know we don't like Anthony Brown, right? But Larry Brown was worse. Larry Brown couldn't catch a cold. Larry Brown was worse, and he was with this team for a while. The only thing I'm saying about Anthony Brown is I think he'd be better in the slot, not on the outside. But I'm just saying that if he's going to be on this team, Dan Quinn must like him. They must see something about Anthony Brown while he's still on the team. Because if that's the case, Anthony Brown should have been benched a long time ago.
Okay, but
So
is it really that Dan Quinn like him? We already know how Jerry and them operate. If you are someone that they drafted, they gonna ride out with you. If they bring you in, then they won't. But if they ride out with you, if he draft you, he gonna ride it out with you. That's what he gonna do. Now if he trade for you or he get you in free agent, he don't have no problem with letting you go at all. But if he drafted you, he babysit you. That's what he do. And in the end it's causing it's chaotic for the team. Period.
he let go Lyle Collins, and he went
He
down there and
chaotic.
flew down there though.
He chaotic for the team. He let
I don't
Lyle
know.
Collins go because Lyle Collins was the amount of money Lyle Collins was gonna cost. He was gonna cost 10 million.
Nah.
He was gonna cost 10. Yes, it was. He was gonna cost $10 million. And the other things that happened with Lyle getting suspended with the drug test and all that stuff that only added to him and his decision to let Lyle go. If Lyle hadn't got into all that trouble, he would have found a way to fix that. But as we can see, letting Lyle go was the right decision
You
because
think
Lyle have
so?
not done anything over there in Cincinnati. He have not done anything in Cincinnati. Not nothing that could be noticeable. Nothing that you can just run and talk about. Michael Parsons ate it. Oh
See,
Lord,
this is
no,
the
no.
thing. This is the thing with ex players. We have listen. I think he's better than Steele. He's better than Steele. Steele is the weakest link on our offensive line. I do not
Well,
like Steele at
well, he didn't play
all.
better than Steele. So basically, he still took his job. He didn't
No,
play
no,
better than Steele. At that time when
no.
all that went on, he played better than Collins. That's why they felt like they could move on from Collins. That's the reason they felt like we don't have to give him this $10 million. We could move on from him because at that moment, Steele was holding it down and he was playing better than Collins
Nah.
at that moment.
At that time, though, Collins came in and took his job from him. He played much better than Steele did. Steele is the weakest link. Just like you talk about Anthony Brown, you need to talk about Steele the same
I
way.
talk about Steele as
You got to
well, but
talk about him the same way.
I talk about the O line. Period. I talk about Steele as well. And like I said Sunday, still did not play. He has the last two games. He have not played his best football the last two games. But if you go and you go look at the records and you go compare the two, Collins is by far not as good as he was. He's by far not as good as he was with the Bengals. He
So
couldn't even
now,
he couldn't even hold he couldn't even hold them when they played here. So
I still think Collins is better than Steele. Just give Collins some time. That whole
how much
offensive
time he
line for the
need?
Bengals, though. No. I'm saying the whole.
How much time he need?
Nikki, hold on. Listen for a second. The whole offensive line for the Bengals need cohesion. They need to play together. So in the second half of the year, I bet you Collins plays better than Steele.
We already at the
I
second
bet I
half.
bet you right now that Collins is gonna play better than Steele. I don't like Steele. Like you don't like Anthony Brown. I don't like Steele. Steele is the weakest link. Steele is the weakest link on that offensive line to me.
I
So
mean,
to
I believe
me,
he is the weakest link, but I still think he played better than Collins last year. Now I understand Collins had some injuries that he was still nursing or whatever, but he played better than Collins. Collins got lazy to me. I didn't see that drive in him. I didn't see any of that in him. The only time I seen drive in him was when he ran up there to go fight Redskin sideline for when they pushed that. Other than that, I didn't see no drive in Collins no anymore.
Well, I
I
think that
don't know.
from a coaching staff standpoint, they see the deficiencies of our O line, and that's why we're running the ball more than we're passing the ball. On
Hmm.
yeah, and that's why we're doing a lot of rolling the quarterbacks out, to help these guys out. That's why Zeke is in the game for pass blocking
Yeah.
because our tight ends are terrible pass blockers. Yeah. So, the formula that we're using right now to win games is a formula that is successful in the playoffs. And I really wish that people would understand that. Yeah, the regular season, yeah, you want to see your team, run up and down the field and score 35, 40 points a game. But go back to the playoffs and tell me, besides the Buffalo Kansas City game, what were those scores like? Teams ran the ball and played good defense.
Mhm.
That's what wins championships. It's very rarely, you don't have the Rams of the '90s and the Colts uh, of the '90s that's going to have a pass happy offense to win Super Bowls. So I want to say that the Rams, the Colts, and I want to kind of say the Saints, but I think they had a hell of a defense the year they won the Super Bowl.
The 49ers too, with Steve Young, Jerry Rice.
Yeah, but that even then, you still didn't have the games that was, we had probably the Super Bowl that had a lot of points in it, but it wasn't because of passing the ball. It was because of good defense and running the ball. So history tells you that, yeah, these passing teams. Look at Patrick Mahomes. He's lights the league up every year, you know, but that hasn't won him a Super Bowl every year. We don't have a Tom Brady with a under 2 second release. He's probably the only quarterback that has a under two that's played in an offense that has an under 2 second release. It's hike and boom. That's but that's really an extension of the run game. So those slants and things like that are extensions of the run game. So running the ball is more of a for our O line. It helps our O line out a whole lot better than it is passing. When we pass, now one thing I will give Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush will stand in. He did do a decent job of standing in the middle of the rush
Mhm.
to get rid of the ball. Um, but Cooper Rush also took a lot of hits too.
Hmm.
He took a lot of hits, so it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is for right now. Hey, we could be 2-5 rather than 5-2. So I'll take it. But there is room for improvement.
Definitely, definitely there is. So let's talk about the NFC East. You got the Eagles at 5-1, the Giants at the Eagles at 6-0, the Giants
Hmm.
at
Six
six
and
and
one.
one, and then the Cowboys at 5-2. And then you got the Commanders who, pulled off a victory against uh, the
Aaron
Packers.
Rodgers.
The
They
Pack.
won two in a row. They beat basically the Bears as well. So they won two in a row.
So we can no longer be called the NFC least right now. The rotation has what came out from the NFC West out to the NFC East. So
The Giants are really surprising a lot of people. A lot of people here in New Jersey, they're still talking about, hey, they can't believe the Giants are 6-1 because the formula is basically run the ball, timely passing, and Danny Dimes is not throwing any turnovers, throwing any interceptions. He's not fumbling the ball like he used to. So, Dayball's doing a great job with Danny Dimes, to be honest with you. He's not turning over the ball, and that's been one of the key aspects of the Giants winning. They're not turning over the ball. They have a good coach. He's a good coach.
well,
So
and
it's crazy.
we always say, that coaching matters, and I don't
Yeah.
understand why people don't believe that. But coaching does matter.
And Saquon too has been running hard. He's not fumbling the ball. He has no injuries. So Saquon is, that Saquon that they drafted, even though it's a contract year. So you have to be careful in regards to basically how you see certain things in a contract year. But Saquon is running good. He's running hard. He's basically the spark plug of the offense. So the Giants are playing well. So I want to see how they're going to play in the second half of the year. I'm really looking forward to it.
So the Giants are running the ball more than they're passing it too. Against the Jaguars, they ran it 39 times and they passed it for 30 times. Uh, they had it's going back to what you said about running quarterbacks. Daniel Jones had 11 carries for 107 yards. Yeah.
That's their formula, I guess. I guess everybody's taking a little piece from Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. They don't want to tell you that, but they're taking a little chunk of their offense and incorporating it.
Well, you realize that unless you have actual true spy on the quarterback, quarterbacks are not accounted for from a defensive standpoint. You have defenses that are considered. I mean, you have your defenses contain a quarterback,
Mm.
but as far as a one-on-one or like a zone scheme or something like that, you don't really. There's never really, unless you put a spy on a quarterback, there's never really a player designated in a defense to the quarterback. You rush four against five linemen, and you try to get pressure with the four. You drop seven into coverage, and then you generally have, if you're playing zone, you generally have your uh, safeties or linebackers who are in the flats that are, pretty much your contained guys on the outside for quarterbacks. And then you're in your rush, even if they're doing all of uh, the twist and up front, they're still a contained person. They generally give up the middle, lanes for the quarterback to run, um, and then hope that the defense, if you're in zone, the defense can come up. If you're in man, then generally you're supposed to you have to call a run for somebody to turn around and come and get the quarter. So the quarterbacks are generally in most defenses are left. They're not accounted for in the run game. So that's why I think a lot of these quarterbacks are being successful. And I also think that with how, you know, teams are coaching players in college, the NFL is starting to
They're
incorporate
adapting.
a
Hmm.
lot. Yeah, they are adapting to college, but because it used to be hard for a college player to adapt to the NFL with coming in under the eye and the shotgun and things like that. Now it's the roles have reversed. These guys are running. These colleges are running NFL offenses now. So now the NFL has adopted a lot of the college offenses.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing for a lot of quarterbacks that's coming into the league. They don't have to basically, worry about being the best passer as long as they can actually effectively run the ball and pass at the same time. You don't have to be a drop back quarterback of Tom Brady or even Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers actually is a scrambling quarterback. He just prefers to stay in the pocket.
Yeah.
So the way to drop back quarterback, I don't think there is, and there's some studs coming out this year. So get ready, NFL.
So do you think that once these kids get into the NFL, that they come in like you had Joe Burrows and Herbert over the last couple of years? They have, their first couple of years in the league, they've been lighting it up, and now that they've been in the league a few years, that defensive coordinators are catching up with them.
Yeah, I think so. Especially actually, excuse me, Herbert, because Herbert hasn't really played that well this year.
No, he
Joe
hasn't.
Burrows, on the other hand, has excelled, but Herbert hasn't. And everybody put him in the top five of quarterbacks. And I'm like, wait a minute, how can you put an individual like this in the top five and he really hasn't done anything? So I think the NFL's
Media,
caught up with him.
as you said, media.
Excuse me. The media does a lot, and people have to watch the games and read to understand that hey, a lot of this is media driven, and Herbert hasn't done anything, so he's playing mediocre. But this may be how he plays. To be honest with you, but Joe Burrow is lighting it up still. He's doing a good job. He's lighting it up. But to me, Herbert hasn't really been effective this year like he's supposed to be, and he has some incredible weapons. He does.
Hmm.
So I mean, the NFL is going to adapt to the dual quarterback moving forward. They're going to have to because that's all these kids are in college are dual threat quarterbacks now. They prefer to stay in the pocket, but if they have to roll out or scramble, they will do that as well. So that's why I'm glad we have a coach like Dan Quinn who played, who coached basically in Seattle, and Russell Wilson could scramble. So he understands the whole definition of basically what it's going to take to corral a dual threat quarterback.
Well, it looks like there's something going on with our live feed right now. Um, because I went back, I noticed that I didn't have any more comments, so I went onto my page and I got an inbox saying that somebody had was trying to refresh the page. So, sorry. I'm going to have to apologize in advance for those who have to come back and look at our show. But something's going on with
The
with
live
the
feed not working?
the live feed is not working on my page right now. Like I said, I noticed that we haven't had a comment in over 20 minutes, and that's not us, and it shows that we have no viewers. So I went on my page here, and it's actually not refreshing. So
Wow.
something went wrong. You can exit the video or try again. So, but yeah, I'd love to have discussions and interact with our fans. That makes the time go by
And enjoyable.
very much so.
Exactly. It is.
So what are we thinking about Sunday? Seeing that Chicago has put that whooping on this Bill Belichick team.
We just got to come prepared to play. We got to come prepared to play. We have to actually, on all cylinders against Chicago, because Chicago's going to try to come and make some noise. Chicago's going to come basically with the energy, because they play well in Dallas. They play well. Their fans travel well in Dallas. So we have to come out and make sure that basically, hey, we put our stamp on this game as well, because we want to play well right before we go into the bye. So I believe in the first half, the game might be close, and then we're going to pull away, hopefully, in the second half, because we have to have some momentum going into the bye, and then we play Green Bay and the Vikings after that.
Yeah. And Green Bay, I mean not Green Bay, the Vikings are quietly becoming a little sneaky good team.
Yeah, they are.
Mhm.
They play good on offense, defense. Kirk Cousins,
Mhm.
he's not turning over the ball either. He got a new coordinator, and I guess they came up with a solution and a system where he's not even turning over the ball as much. So these new coordinators are doing well with quarterbacks that, in the past turned over the ball a lot. So now they have these new coordinators. They're talking to them about, hey, don't force the ball, take a sack if needed, or throw away the ball or make better reads. And they're not turning over the ball. So that's why the Giants and the Vikings are both winning, because they're not turning over the ball. But getting back to Sunday, we have to stop the run. We have to stop the run, and we can't give up big pass plays to their tight ends, because actually, his favorite target is their tight end. From watching him play, he loves the tight end. He loves the tight end and Mooney. Those are his two favorite targets. So we have to make sure the tight ends are covered and we don't give up any big plays downfield and stop the run. Because if they run the ball, that means our defense is going to be on the field a long time, which means they're going to get actually tired, and then it's going to force us to actually throw the ball if we're behind.
Yep.
So we have to control the run. You have to. Don't give up any big plays and don't turn over the ball.
Okay. You, Nikki?
Talking about for the game Sunday.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, you gotta. I mean, out top, looking at the formula that the Bears, kind of then turn to. It's a winning formula for them. It fits their quarterback style. Um, he Justin Fields to me, he reminds me of Kyler Murray. He reminds me of the Lamar Jackson. Probably can't throw the ball that good or get the ball down the field all the time, but he definitely is a runner and a scrambler. Um, if you take eyes off of him, you can lose him. So we definitely, need defense to be up on top of that and follow him and have a spy on him. Um, we got to take care of the ball on our end. Try to eliminate turnovers. Um, we got to score. I just feel like, we got to score. We got to score quick, and we need to have all the momentum. Also, if we win the toss, I want us to defer. Again, I rather defer and get the ball back and get the ball first and second half. Um, I think it's gonna be an interesting game. Bears coming in on a high. They beat the Patriots. The Patriots ain't really a good team, but it's the fact of beating the Patriots. It's the fact of Bill Belichick getting out coached by another coach. That never happened. Seems like he only can do that when he had Tom now. It's crazy how he was winning all these games with Tom. Now Tom gone. They got him set up like he can't coach. But you thought he was the best coach when Tom Brady was there. So it's like, was it really him or was it Tom Brady? Now it's really telling the tale because now it's like he don't even know what to do. I'm like, damn, you and Tom used to cheat like y'all couldn't cheat. Y'all used to cheat like crazy. Now you lost. You don't even know how to cheat no more. You know. But we'll see. I just think that Kellen Moore needs to have a good play calling together, because the Bears, despite of their record, the Bears defense is not shabby at all, and they do have a good pass rush. So Dak is not going to be able to just stand in the pocket like that. He's going to have to get rid of the ball quick, and he's going to have to move. He's going to have to use his legs as well. But that O line is also going to have to hold up and block for him and make holes as well for um, Pollard and Zeke. To be able to run and pick up some yardage on the ground. But we need to stick to the formula. Don't try to have Dak passing 50, 60 times in the game, because then you begging for interceptions when that happen. That's when you get the throws and double coverage. That's when you get the forced balls when you trying to have him throwing out there like that. We just need to have a balanced game, balanced on offense, balanced on defense. Which is that we just have to be balanced on both sides of the ball and special teams as well. I'm hoping soon we can see Turpin get him one twice. He almost got there. He just one more block and he was there. But also field advantage is gonna be very, very big. Having good field position is gonna be very, very big in this game. So I know defense to be ready. Defense has not been our worry in a long time. It's offense. We never know what we're gonna get from that offense. Especially with Kellen Moore calling the plays. We don't know what we're gonna get. So I'm hoping that well, I'm sure they did, but I'm hoping they watched the game last night. I hope they watched film last night, because last night is the game that can give them more insight on what the Bears may want to do. Because all the other games, the Bears lost because they wasn't doing what they did last night. So this game will give them more of the insight. Should have give them more insight on what the Bears going to try to do.
Well, like you said, definitely, the biggest scouting report you could ever have is watching your team, watching your opponent play. And Monday night, they were on the stage. So um, my key to beating Chicago is stop Fields. You stop Fields and you win the game. What else? I think that they have a good running game.
Hmm.
Um, I think they have a very good running game, but they're not good at getting the ball downfield, and that is where we are going to have to use our speed on defense to contain Fields, contain the running game, because they got two good backs,
Two
you
good
know,
backs.
two very good backs. Offensive line is not shabby on the run game. It's just we got to force them into becoming a passing team. So as you said, Nikki, we got to get up on them and get them one sided. Get them to where you got to put the ball in Justin's hands, not in his legs. You put it in Fields' hands and not in his legs, then we have a chance to win. So that's my take on Sunday's game.
We also have to cover their tight end. That's Fields' favorite target, the tight end. We cover him. We start the run. We make sure that Mooney doesn't have any explosive plays downfield. We should be able to come away with this win, have some momentum going into the bye, and then we play Green Bay. Because Green Bay actually plays Buffalo. So if they lose to Buffalo, oh my God, it's gonna be something else.
Yeah, I think that if people don't believe that a quarterback's best friend is a true number one receiver, then look at Green Bay.
Mm,
Green Bay is the epitome of a quarterback needing a true number one receiver. Um, Look at what Arizona did before Hopkins came back. You know, it's look at Russell Wilson without a true number one guy. There's a lot of good receivers in the league. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying that some of these receivers, like I think Denver has some good receivers.
hmm
They have some speedy receivers, but are they true number one receivers? I mean, the true number one receivers, they don't come a dime a dozen. I'm looking at the Mike Evans, the Metcalfs, the
Chase,
yeah, Chase. But he
Amari
has
Cooper, the world.
Amari Cooper. I think Chase. I think Chase. I think he's quick. I think that he has some good complementary receivers
hmm
that takes pressure off of him. I don't consider him as a true number one. I think that him and Burrow have just been playing. Has been playing together so long that they have a connection. Um, so I'm not saying that he's not a number one receiver because he's a number one receiver on Cincinnati, but he's not a
Devontae Adams or
yeah,
Jefferson
yeah,
or
or
Tyreek
Mike
Hill.
or Mike Evans or the you can name pretty much you can really name on less than I would say there's less got to be less than out of 32 teams there's got to be less than 12 solid number one receivers in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Hmm. So let
You
me ask
know,
you a question, Foxy. So does the Cowboys need a number one wide receiver?
yes, we do.
Mm. So in your estimation, is CD Lamb a good number two?
I think he's a solid two.
Mm. Okay.
Um, and how do you go a game where you don't get Michael Gallup one catch? That baffled me. And I think that, when we talk about, Dak's play, I think that he's trying to force CD to be a number one. And that's why we have, we have some of the throws that we have to CD is because we're trying to force him to become a number one receiver. And I get it. You want that connection. You want to have that receiver like that Dak had with Coop, but at the same time you can't force it. You can't force it.
No, he can't force it. And I don't know. I'm still hoping and wishing that, something to happen in the trade market. I don't know. Because having a true number one basically alleviates a lot of the pressure for the other wide receivers and the tight ends when you have a true number one. Because all the coverage is rolled to that particular wide receiver. So everybody else will basically have single coverage.
It opens up the running game too
Yeah.
because you'll have double coverage. A true number one will have three eyes on him. You have the corner on him, you have the safety over the top, and you have the outside linebacker um, to take away the slants and the curl routes
hmm
and the flats. And people don't understand that. That's where I wish that people didn't just watch football, that they understood football, understood the concept of football, understand the concepts of route combinations, understand the
Hmm.
concept of the passing game opens up the run game, the running game opens up the pass game, um, field responsibilities, reads, even as a referee, I have reads before I can dissect a play or focus on a player. I know that if a tackle is light on his, if I'm playing the side judge or I mean not the side judge, if I'm playing the head linesman or the line judge, I'm looking at the tackle stance. Is he heavy on his
Hmm.
fingers? Is it going to be a run play? Is it going to be a pass play? If it's going to be a pass play, then I'm looking for blocks in the backfield. If it's going to be a run play, then I'm looking for holds on 2 or 3 yards out. You know, it's reading the game. You have to read the game before you react. And I think that's what a lot of our fans do. We watch the game and we want the touchdowns. We want the first downs. We want the big catches. We want the big runs. But we don't understand the concept that it takes to get those plays. We don't understand that it takes, you having to run maybe 3 times a certain play to get a play action pass to get that long pass open. How do you think that some of these receivers are wide open? Because of the different concepts that are being ran before that receiver can get open. And fans don't some fans don't understand that.
Hey, fantasy football is taking over. To be honest with you, they want all the high scoring points so they can win in fantasy, and so they don't understand the nuances of the X and O's of football.
Yeah.
And that's one of the problems that we have when when we go up against a team like Detroit and everybody wants us to throw up a 40 burger on Detroit. And when we don't, oh my God, what's going on with the offense? We are pitiful. We can't even put a 40 burger on Detroit. So they have to understand bracket coverage. They have to understand man to man, matchup zones. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, they'll learn one day. Maybe you should have a class. Maybe you should have a master class and actually how to read zones and defense. Maybe you should have a master class.
Wow. Well, once again, for those who come back and watch this broadcast again, I want to apologize for the um, technical difficulties. I'm still trying to go online and pull up our show, and it's not playing the video. So there's got to be there's something going on with Facebook right now. Um, and I know that we are a football discussion group, but I really hated that they made our lives events versus just leaving them lives.
Mm.
Yeah, I hate that.
So
Um,
so we're definitely like I said, I'm definitely want to apologize for that, and we'll have it back up and running next week. All right. So any more topics we want to talk about?
Yeah, I
so
got
we
a
don't
big
have
one.
nothing. Nothing coming through.
Nothing on none of the
Oh wow.
platforms.
Right.
The only platform that is that we can see that people can see us on live right now is YouTube,
Mm.
and we haven't marketed YouTube as hard as much as we need to. So we need to get that going so we don't have these problems.
So, how should we utilize Turban moving forward? I mean, a lot of fans want us to incorporate Turban in our offense, but I keep telling everybody it's hard to incorporate your special teams ace who's only 5'8", 140, 145 pounds in the offense, and just want him to come in the game and run fly patterns when that the defensive coordinator knows when Turban comes in the game what you're going to run. So I said, why would you want to basically risk injury as well? Because he's 145 pounds, he's 5'8". I mean, Deshaun Jackson was 5'10", 175 pounds. Lucky Whitehead, 5'10", 160 pounds. And even Devontae Smith is 6 feet tall, 170 pounds. So I'm saying, do you really want to risk Turban, even though he's explosive, but do you want to risk him on the offensive side of the ball, because if he gets hurt, that means CeeDee Lamb or basically Pollard's going to have to return kicks. Do you really want to actually sacrifice Turbin for our offensive game if he gets hurt?
Well,
And I've
I
been
have
going back and forth for the last
I,
week.
I have a better question for you. Who you gonna take out the offense?
Good question. You can bring him in on some specialty plays, but when you bring him in, you know what's going to happen.
You know what's gonna happen. Yeah.
And so that's my thing. I was telling people, telling fans, I said, listen, if you bring Turbin in, they know, okay, watch out for jet sweep or he's going deep because you're not going to throw a slant to him. He's too small. They're going to eat him up. So a reverse play or a screen, so they know something special's coming.
I mean, a small receiver like that. Um, I don't think that the Cowboys are good enough on route combinations to feature him in the offense. I mean, you look at um, oh man, the kid in Miami,
Which one, Tyreek Hill?
Hill. Yeah, you look at Hill. Hill was a good receiver, but look who he had as tight end. Look, all his complementary receivers were dangerous. Also, it just so happened that Hill, um, it was either Hill or the tight end. Hill, tight end.
Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelsey Hill. If you doubled Kelsey, then you leave Tariq, almost 1-on-1. If you do the opposite, if you double and play blanket coverage over Hill, then you got Kelsey open. Um, that goes back to understanding football concepts. Once
Also,
again,
don't forget too that Hill's built his legs are built like a running back, and that's another thing. Turbin is not big; he's slight. You know, Tyreek Hill's legs are really thick too, so he can take that pounding, and that's where he generates a lot of his speed from. And I was trying to, explain that. I said, listen, Turbin is fast, but he's not big. He's not big. He's not a physical. So the first time he goes over the middle or runs a slant and gets knocked out, what's going to happen? That's why I'm trying to, explain to our fan base that Turbin is explosive, yes, and I love his explosiveness, especially on special teams. But do you really want to risk him, put him on offense right now? Because we do lack explosive plays because we in the bottom of the league in actually explosive plays on offense, generating explosive plays. So I know that coming up with different concepts, but some of that has to do with Kellen Moore as well. And maybe Gallup can basically, be used more as a vertical weapon because we use Gallup a lot when Amari Cooper was here. And so I don't know. We have to come up with different actually solutions for how we can actually be more vertical in those particular key moments in the game. Because I don't want to risk Turbin. I really don't. He's explosive. He changes field position for us, and he's going to break one. He may not even just break one. He may break two in one game. So I don't think I would basically sacrifice Turbin for basically our offensive explosiveness. I wouldn't do it. I don't think so. I mean, we tried that with Lucky Whitehead a long time ago. It seemed to work a little bit, but not Turbin. Right now, I wouldn't do it. He's too light. He's way too late.
Nikki.
No, I ain't had no more topics. We touched on everything I had to say, but I was looking here at this stuff with West, all these Aaron Donald and all of them that was under him that signed a contract with him. They out and left after he made that statement he made. So I'm like, y'all think West dumb now? We know what he did. He actually got out of all them contracts for free. Now he don't owe nobody nothing. Adidas, nobody. Why she trying to make his own brand now without being attached to nobody and having to give them a cut? The boy genius, huh? He played crazy and say something demonic, and now everybody done scattered from him and left his and quit. I'd say so. He's saying, okay, y'all gone good. I don't have to pay nobody. Ain't got to do nothing for nobody. I'm good. I'm on my own now. Adidas dropped them. Everybody.
Yeah. Um,
It's showing that it's live. Your live.
yeah. Now my live done showed up. on my personal phone, but it's not showing up on the
on the page.
yeah, on the page. So yeah, with that being said, yeah, Terrence and Natalie, I was just testing out my live. The live for StreamYard fixed the comments, and then the the Facebook Live went out. So yeah, I see everybody's on my
Mark
personal
Zuckerberg,
phone.
what are you doing? What are you
Yeah,
doing?
they hating on the stars talking Cowboys.
Mark Zuckerberg, what are you doing in Ardsley, New York? What are you doing?
Yeah, they hating on the stars talking Cowboys. So once again,
Who
for
hate
those,
who hating on us?
yeah, Mark,
Facebook. Mark.
yeah,
Who's Mark?
Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook.
Oh, I'm like, who's Mark? I'm ready to look somebody up.
Oh Lord.
Go to Facebook jail. No, yeah, that's a bummer.
Hey, talk about your boo though. Wait a minute, Nikki. Hold on. How can wait. You haven't brought your boo up, Mrs. Thing.
Which boo?
Mr. Clark, who's gonna be
Oh,
active for the game. What's up?
yeah.
Forget about Kanye West. What about Mr. Clark right now? Because we're gonna need him.
Yeah, I'm
Mis-
happy. I want to. I doubt if he. I don't think he'll play Sunday though. I don't think he'll play Sunday, but it's exciting to see that where he came from. That he actually making them gonna be possibly be on the 53-man roster Sunday, being that they thought he probably wasn't gonna play at all this season. So that goes to show you the new speed of medication and surgeries and um he's just a hard working fella. He was very good at LSU. He balled at LSU. He's a coverage guy. He has speed. He could play on the inside, he could play on the outside. I mean, it's exciting to see. And I would love to actually see him and Cox on the field together, being that they both played together at LSU. I would love to see both of them on the field together.
Maybe next
Um,
year.
yeah, hopefully, maybe next year we'll get to see them on the field together. And I still think we should play Cox a little more than what we've planned him. Besides just on special teams, I think he could bring. I think he brings a little bit more. He's definitely a coverage guy. Cox is definitely made for coverage. I think they probably should try alternating him and LV sometimes. Just kind of give Cox that up that get him ready. Because I don't I by no means I feel like we're gonna keep Ish after this season. I think he'll be gone after this season.
I think so
So
too. Barr's gonna be going as well.
who?
Anthony Barr's gonna be going too because I
Yeah,
only
because
think he signed
he
a
only
1 year.
signed he only signed to 1 year. So Bart be gone as well. So perfect timing for Clark. I mean, halfway through the season, perfect timing is when we gonna need him the most. So hopefully we can get him up to game speed and he can come in and get his first NFL game action. I think he just got to learn the ropes. He got the best people teaching him. Who else to learn from but Michael Parsons? So, and I like that. I like the thing that Michael Parsons put out about him and Dan Quinn having the conversation they had. This is why the defense is playing the way they playing because Dan Quinn has a personal connection with these young men. He's more to them just a that just than just a coach. He kind of have that father instinct with them, kind of like Dion have with his players at Jackson State. He talk trash to him, he talk crazy to him, whatever, but they love him and they respect him. And every week they hit that field, they out there playing and they balling because they know what type of what they're gonna encounter when they go back in their locker room with Dion. So like, let's just ball out so we don't have to go back in the locker room and hear all this from him. I respect Dion to the fullest of what he have done coming into this HBCU world. Um, he has been offered more than one job from coaching jobs, and he turned it down. He was like, "No, I belong where I'm at, and I'm staying where I'm at because he have made an absolute change in a lot of those young men's lives." Some of them that were going to these other colleges probably wasn't gonna never get a chance to even see the field, but they went over there to Jackson State and they over there balling. I mean, I think what I like the most about Dion with this is when he told his own son, "Hey, you can't do your job, Sounders or no Sounders, you gonna sit down, and you come in here with that thing around your neck again, you're not playing." And his son was like, are you serious?" And he was like, "Play with me if you want to and see how serious I am." And the son never did it again because he knew his dad meant business. Just because you my son, you don't get special privileges. Just a team, you know. I just wish we can adopt some of that on our offense side. What Dan Quinn has adopted with the defensive side. I just wish we can get some of that on our offensive side because our offensive side versus how the defense look when they come off the field making the play, or they come off the field and they done took got the other team off the field on the third down, or they didn't got a turnover. Their energy coming off the field and how they running over to Dan Quinn. He like the first person they run into, and it's like they go and get their father salute. You did it, and I love it. I just love it, and I just wish we can get some of that on the offensive side. Because when the offensive side go on the sideline, and there is always the same 3, 4 people in the huddle talking. Dak don't even stop and talk to Kellen Moore. He go right past him and go sit on the bench and look at his book, look at his tablet, or whatever. It's like it's just not the same connection. And I just feel if we can get both of that energy on both sides and that type of communication and language with each other on both sides, the NFL world needs to look out because now you have a team not only in unison on the field, but they in unison on that sideline.
Yeah,
It's a little
yeah.
different.
So yeah, I just got a message from some of our viewers that said they got a notification saying that there's something wrong with with the feed. So um,
Great.
yeah, going back to Dion though, Dion has not only did great for Jackson State, he's got them HBCUs on ESPNU every week now.
Yeah, it does.
I'm looking on Facebook ads now, popping up on my Facebook page about HBCU games and homecomings and stuff like that. And so he's made a real big impact in the
That's
community when it
prime.
comes to that. Yeah, and I don't think that he did it for himself. I think that, like you said, Nikki, he pretty much did it because he likes helping these kids out. This guy is genuine with it, and I follow him on Twitter and a couple other things, and a lot of stuff that he says. He's trying to turn these young boys into grown men. And Jackson State is a poor
I know.
HBCU.
Yeah.
Jackson, Mississippi is a poor state capital in the poorest state in the union, and look how much publicity he's getting there. So I look. I don't do this too often. I tip my hat to the man. You know.
Florida State made a big mistake not hiring Dion. So
Yeah.
Florida State's probably looking at it like, damn, we messed up. We should have hired Dion.
Yeah.
They should have hired Dion. I don't know. They probably thought he had so much theatrics and he's prime this, prime that, but he was just trying to come back to his alma mater and basically, help them win. But they didn't see it that way.
See, he put
Oh
a good
well.
coach. He put a good coaching staff around him. He's
Yes,
got
he did.
NFL coaches on his staff, and though yeah, Prime is getting all the credit for it, but I wonder how many of those coaches are now will end up back in the NFL because of what they're doing with these kids in Jackson State. And Prime knows the success of when they ask him, "Are you ready to go up against the Alabamas and the Tennessees?" And he said, "No, I ain't got the trenches for that." He got the skill players for it. And he said, I have the skill players for it. I have the skill players to compete with any team in the nation, but I don't have the trenches. The difference between the Alabamas and Jackson State is the front
Mm-hmm.
lines.
The big nasties. He doesn't
And
have that yet.
and that's what's gonna win us or lose us playoff and Super Bowls. I look at all the good teams that we've had over the last 15 years, minus the Dez catch situation. I can't. That was an exception to the rule. But every other game that we've lost was because we lost in the trenches.
That Giant game, 2007, still kills me to this day.
You, I think you mention that every week.
You don't understand. That whole Cabo game they call it, the Justice Consistent game. We just had stupid penalties and drop passes. It was oh man, it was because the Cowboys' fortune would be a lot different if we would have won that game and went on to the Super Bowl and played the Patriots. Just like the Romo fumble, the Cowboys' basically existence would be a lot different today if we'd have won both of those games. I think, but so be it. It is what it is. You got to take the good with the bad. Being a Cowboy fan, a lifelong Cowboy fan. But the trenches, definitely the trenches. That's why, hopefully, the Cowboys can still make some other additions to our team, especially on the offensive line, because we really don't have any offensive line depth right now. We really don't. So we have to. Hopefully, they're looking at the waiver wire. Hopefully, they're looking at the practice squad for certain individuals because we need that offensive line depth just in case. Even though Tyron Smith's supposed to come back in December, but still, we still need some more depth. And when
Yeah,
he comes back, who's gonna not play? That's another thing too. Who's gonna sit the bench when he comes back? That's a good problem to have, but who's really gonna sit the bench?
yeah.
Terrence Steele. Oh no!
He gonna
But
get
seriously
you.
though, so getting back to Anthony Brown because I know he's a hot topic right now. So what do you think Dan Quinn is instructing him to do when he's on an island by himself?
I mean, he's there. Don't get me wrong. My number one and my only problem with him is on man to man. He's trailing the play and he doesn't turn his head. If he's playing zone like in a cover three or or a straight cover four, where all he has to do is bail out and backpedal and keep his eyes on the quarterback. He's a decent cornerback. But man to man, he's killing us.
Mm,
And no, he's only given up one touchdown. But how many long third and longs has he given up?
That's the problem. He not that's the issue. They know to go to his side. I watched him Sunday particularly just because I wanted to see how often and how long in the game that he was going to continue to play that far out from the receiver. Every time they went to his way, there was a show enough first down. I'm like, why are you way at the goal line and he could run and pick up two first downs on you? I don't get it. And then when you see he take off, then you want to dash. No, oh, we can't cuss no more.
Oh yeah, I mean we not on Facebook Live now, so
I'm
and,
like,
and I don't know if the video. I
oh,
mean nobody officially said that we
I'm gonna put
couldn't,
a
but
stick. I'm gonna put a sticky on my computer. You can't do not curse.
we gonna get a
That I
we're gonna get a
mean,
cussing jar for you.
right. Like,
Chris,
oh my God.
put some dollars in that jar, baby.
It's like I just don't understand it. Like
It's instinct. It has to be instinct.
his
It has to be.
instinct is not like. And then one time I was like, okay, Anthony Brown coming around. He is playing better, or whatever. But he man to man coverage is not for him.
No, it's
It's
not.
not
Mm,
for him. And if you gotta, if you can get him on the outside, and oh my, it's
And that
almost sure every time they gonna come down with a touchdown or they gonna come down first and go.
and that's why I wouldn't put him in the slot myself because generally
I don't want him in
yeah,
the slot.
generally slot receivers, generally you're man to man in the slot. You're in a nickel situation and you're pretty much playing man to man. Unless you got two over the top, which is taking seven, uh, you know, that's one, two, three, four, five. Yeah. I don't trust him in man to man.
So what you gonna do with him then? If you don't trust him in the slot and the outside, I mean Quinn's not gonna bench him to put Boss Man in the game, all right? So what is the solution?
So you think, look at how Dan Quinn's success in when he had Seattle. He had two long cornerbacks
Mm-hmm.
that could play man to man, that stayed, that kept the receivers in front of them. Richard Sherman and them kept the receivers in front of them. They rarely were trailing the receivers. Anthony Brown, he's always trailing, and he doesn't look back. That just gets me. Diggs, we get on Diggs for being aggressive, but Diggs is running the route with the receivers. He has his head turned because he's pretty much running the route with the receivers. He gets beat on the double moves because he's aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And
But I've seen him work on craft on it.
he
I've
has
seen him work on his
He's
craft
gotten
on
better.
it.
He's gotten better.
a
And
whole
he
lot
has
better.
gotten better with it. I have seen him work on his craft on that. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate when, you go look at yourself or someone bring it to your attention and they tell you and they show you this is what you're doing wrong and you work on it. You try to fix it. Al Harris said that he's tired of Anthony Brown. Tired of trying to tell him the same thing over and over again. So that's why when Anthony Brown comes to the sideline, he walk away from him. He gone down the line. Cause he like, I done told this dude over and over again, it's just turning your head. Sometimes it's just you turning your head and you got the ball. If you turn your head and make and look for the ball, you probably won't get the flags you get. You get the flags you get because you don't do nothing. I'm like, do y'all need to put some kind of pinch on a shock on his neck or something so when it's time for him to turn his head, y'all can hit it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And that's my biggest
Yeah.
issue with Anthony Brown. And like I said, it ain't that I dislike Anthony Brown as a person. I dislike Anthony Brown for his playing on the field. I think he's a fine person in person, and I think he's a good dude generally as a person. But on the field, let's be real. Anthony Brown would not still be on no other team if he wasn't on the Cowboys. Let's be
You
real.
don't think so?
Let's keep it 100. And even if he was on another team, he wouldn't be no starter. He wouldn't be no starter. He'll be a backup. He would be a backup player. He only a starter because Jerry drafted him, and Jerry has this confidence in him that he gonna get better. It's been 6 years. I understand that maybe the first 2 years I can understand this type of situation out of Anthony Brown. I can understand it if it was his first, second year. But dude, you're going into your seventh year and we're still telling you and asking you to do the same simple thing as turn your head. You have the freaking speed. You have the speed. Turn your head.
He has to
But
have a clock in
again,
his head.
he
Yeah,
has
he doesn't
to.
have a
He
he
don't have
doesn't
a
have a
clock.
clock right now. Every good cornerback has a clock, and he doesn't have a clock, and
You see
that's a
what they
bad thing.
paid Derwin James? He got paid today.
Derwin James is that. I wanted the Cowboys to try to trade up
I
and
liked
grab
him
Derwin
too.
James. I liked him, but they got LVE instead. I was like, come on, Derwin James is that unicorn that we needed for our defense, but we didn't draft him. So Derwin James is good too, really good, really good. But
He
you're
got
gonna have to
paid.
come up with a solution, though. You're gonna have to come up with a solution sooner or later for Anthony Brown. I mean, you can bench him, but then you have Boss Man coming in the game. Boss Man's head may not be in the game, right? We don't know what we're gonna get. Bland, Bland is basically gonna come in. He gonna ball. I already know he gonna ball, but I don't know. So what can we do with him? That's the thing. Should we go out and trade for a cornerback or sign one? I don't know. We got to do something.
When we gonna start playing when we gonna start playing ball more too? I like ball.
Which ball?
Marquise ball.
Oh, he's Bell. Oh, your
I
boy.
mean Bell. Shoot, keep saying I don't know why I had ball in my mind. I swear
Because
I'm thinking
I
about.
don't know. I mean, we have enough special teamers. We have enough safeties. We deep at safety. We're really deep at safety. So I don't know when he's going to get back on the field. But it
Right.
also depends on the injuries. It's the injuries and basically the matchup. So it's like, okay, we're going to inactivate him for this particular game. So I don't know. But we deep at safety. It's the first time in a long time we can say we deep at safety. Thank God for
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
But now cornerback seems to be an issue right now. And just I don't
Yep.
know. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know. I mean, go out and sign a free agent or trade for one. I don't know. I would hope we could trade for Joe Horn. I'm not Joe Horn, but J.C. Horn. But I know that was a pipe dream. But now the Carolina, there's only one game out of first place. They might not have a garage sale. They might not because they're
They're
only
not.
one game out of first.
They're not gonna get rid of them young players because they're gonna be cheap. They
I
try and
wish
get
they
rid of these
would
big.
though.
They're gonna get rid. They're getting rid of these big contracts.
Yep.
J.C. Horn would. I was just thinking. I was licking my chops one day. I said, man, if only we could. But hey. I don't know. The solution for Anthony Brown. I don't know. I wish we could talk to Dan Quinn personally and ask him, but we can't. So I guess he's gonna be here until the end of the year. Yeah, I don't see any reinforcements coming. I mean, there's free agents, but are those free agents really an upgrade over Anthony Brown? Janoris Jenkins, Joe Hayden, Kevin King. There's Xavier
Whose
Rhodes.
cell phone?
That was mine. That was an
Oh,
alarm.
we got this. That's mine. We got the same one, same
Yeah, that,
ringtone.
that was an alarm. Foxy, you on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to leave you guys for the last 10 minutes.
No,
But
we can go and wrap up.
okay. Um, like I said, once again, if they restore this video, and hopefully they do, what I'll do is I will repost this video back to Facebook from StreamYard. But it looks like that we had some typical technical difficulties with StreamYard and Facebook. So hopefully they'll have it rectified next week. But
Predictions. Don't forget predictions for the game.
I'm like you. I think it's gonna be a close game. Uh, I think it's gonna be a close game. The Mavericks just lost to New Orleans, 113 to 111.
I saw that.
New
Um,
Orleans is bringing it.
and
I saw
that's
that.
without Zion too.
He's hurt.
Yeah, he's
I
always
saw
hurt.
that. I saw that. I saw that. I was like, what?
But
He took a bad fall.
yeah. But I think that we'll win the game. I just think that it's going to be a dramatic game. There are a lot of fans that are from Chicago, a lot of Bear fans that are going to that game.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's going to be a sellout. It's definitely going to be
Yes.
a one sellout. And I'm pretty sure that Nikki is going to be in somebody's suite and she's going to go live for us. And
No, actually, I won't make this game. I'm going. My cousin's funnel is Saturday in
oh,
Louisiana,
okay.
so I'm
Well,
leaving Friday to go home for
Blessings.
his
well,
untimely death.
safe travels to you.
Yep.
And make sure you let us know when you make it there when you get home.
So I was like, okay, maybe if I can. No, I don't know. Don't count me out because I been and got out that funeral and said, hey, let's roll. So so don't count me out. Like I
They're
don't
gonna be like,
know.
nah, boo, you gotta go to the repass. You're not going to no Dallas game today.
The way I felt about it, I ain't seen half of y'all in all this time. So only time we meet is for funerals and weddings.
All right.
Mm.
All right. Well, I got to jump off. If you guys want to give your closing statements, I will talk to you guys in the chat.
All
All
right,
right,
brother.
we'll see you then.
All right.
All right. Well, as always, nobody can't say thank everyone for joining in, but I will say we thank you all who tried to join in
Mm-hmm.
with us tonight. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We do appreciate each and every one of you. Of course, we couldn't do this without any of you.
That's right. Come to the safe zone, the safe space, where your opinions matter. And so you
That's
matter
it.
to us, and thank you for showing up. Appreciate everybody. And let's get this W on Sunday. Let's go into the bye with some momentum. Then we play Green Bay. The media's gonna hype that game up. It's probably gonna be on Fox. So let's go into basically, this buy and have some momentum. So I'm looking forward to it. And thanks again, everybody. God bless everybody. Thanks for coming out.
And have a good night.
And have a great night.
All right.
All right. See you in the chat.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Good night.